HK assassin droids, and we have Bosk, which just is a good figure in his own right.
Yes. His Pierce 2, his +2 accuracy, his +2 damage, it'll be a solid rounding out of this list.
Yeah, and I like that he can attack twice. There's not a lot of figures in the game that can do that just off the bat.
Yeah.
I mean, indiscriminate fire, his ability is not actually an attack, which is what lets him do it twice, right?
Exactly.
It looks like we're getting set up here. They've got the figures on the board. The first mission of the day, we've got, what map is that? I forget. It is
the Nelvanian Warzone.
And we're using mission A, Fallout. So for those of you at home, if you're not familiar with the mission or if you've forgotten, those doors on the board are locked, so they're not going to fight each other right away. Those doors also have 10 health.
And no defense on those doors, so they'll be easy to get down.
We've already seen a couple rolls. I'm guessing they're going after the doors.
That would be my guess as well. They need to...
Let's see. Sorry, you were saying?
They need to get those doors down so that they can at least start eliminating figures, as well as they need to get some VP from the objectives.
Yeah, so the objective, that now that you mention it, the other rules for the mission are all the neutral tokens out there. You can see them on the screen with the white and green on the map. Mm-hmm. They represent broken droids that you need to pick up and bring back to a terminal. And what happens if I get to do that?
If you happen to bring a broken droid to a terminal, you then interact with it and you gain 9 victory points.
That's a big chunk. That's almost a quarter of what you need.
Exactly. You need 40 VPs to win.
So it looks like a door is already down. I think that looks like that's is that Jesse or no, that's Kenny.
That's Kenny.
Yeah.
Running the Rebel list.
So Kenny's figures are unpainted. It's an easy way to look at it. Jesse's are all painted up with the Bantha has some pink horns.
That's a very interesting color choice, and it just adds to the variety of this game.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that yesterday. But more on gameplay. Jesse is moving over. It looks like he's going more for objectives all out.
Yes.
And Kenny took out, obviously threw a couple people at that door.
Yep, and now he's positioning R2-D2 by a terminal, so...
You think he's looking to get some early command card advantage there?
Definitely. If at the end of the round you're next to a terminal and you control it and are unopposed, you then get to choose or pick an additional command card from your deck.
And those command cards are always powerful for people that haven't necessarily played much. They can swing a game or a round. There's some really good ones out there.
Yes, most definitely.
So it looks like the scum are also focusing a fair bit there. I'm guessing those are focus tokens. So he's getting all ready. It's going to be interesting. They're all going to, it looks like they're just going to converge.
Yep, they are just preparing for the next round is what it looks like.
That's exciting. One of the Sabs is also focused, which a focused Sab is going to do a lot of damage.
Definitely.
That green dye gives you a good variety of stuff. You get a little bit of extra surges, which will help you do more, better chance of blast, more damage. It gives you a little more range. It just adds to your attack in a nice, well-rounded way.
Yeah, but it looks like they're debating what they are up to next. I don't know about you, Brendan, but this game is one that I am constantly thinking about, planning, plotting where I'm going to go, and one wrong move can end in disaster sometimes.
Oh, for sure. One of the ways I describe it is it's very much like chess without the pieces being restricted in terms of movement, right?
Correct. That is an excellent description. I mean,
yes, it has the grid, but more so than that, as you said, you're constantly planning and trying to figure out what the best move is. Sometimes you want to retreat, sometimes you want to push forward. There's all sorts of different things you can do, and as you said, if you make one wrong mistake, that could spell the end for you.
Correct.
I'm a big fan of chess, by the way.
I couldn't tell. That's awesome. I like playing chess. I am terrible at it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, seems you're pretty good at this game, so Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the players. Sorry, these are both excellent players, obviously, since they've made top 8 of Worlds.
Definitely.
I'm very interested to see how they do overall. They both came into the top 16 with 2 losses.
That is correct. They both have a 5-2 record.
Yeah, so they didn't breeze through the Swiss necessarily. The Swiss rounds where everybody plays for for 6 rounds. They lost 2, whereas a lot of the top 16 has only lost 1 or went undefeated. So
it'll be interesting to see how these lists play out against the rest of the groupings.
we've got another Sab is focused, another saboteur.
That's going to be dangerous.
And it looks like Obi-Wan has stepped forward. Obi-Wan is actually going to be a big part of this map, I think, because of his first ability that makes figure costs of 6 or less within 3 spaces of Obi-Wan not be able to interact, which is huge for those broken droids.
Huge.
Although, that said, looking at Jesse's list, he doesn't have a lot of units that are below 6, actually. So, I mean, Bosk, Bantha Rider, and the Assassin droids are all 8 or higher. So he's really just stopping. He's just going to be stopping C-3PO or Gideon from sneaking in and stealing one.
That is correct.
So, as with chess, there's some interesting give and take here. Obi-Wan is going to stop some of the units, but it's kind of up to Kenny to figure out how much he wants to push that, because if he pushes it too much and Jesse comes in with those bigger units, he can potentially take out Obi-Wan without Obi-Wan being super effective.
Exactly.
So what do you think their early strategies are based on what we've seen so far? Catherine, can you pick anything out?
So far, I don't see anything coming out yet. It looks like they're just lining up for either a run to grab a bunch of broken droids, or they're just gonna meet and slaughter one another. Both ways will be interesting and fun to watch.
Sure. With this wide shot, you can see Kenny is on the left and Jesse's on the right, if you want to get a look at their faces. You see
Looks like looking at through command cards, plotting what they want to do next.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a good view on the command cards, so we won't know what happens until they're played, which can be exciting, but...
Oh, and a door looks like it's down.
Kenny's taking up all the doors.
He just wants a clear path to get those broken droids back to R2-D2, maybe.
That's true. If with those doors open, he can come back anyway, although that middle is not necessarily he can't get from the droids right into the middle. That is
correct. There is a wall in the way.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. Is there only the one terminal on this map? I forget. I think so.
It looks that way, that there is only one terminal, and R2-D2 off on the left of the screen is...
The only one there.
Yep.
So there's an interesting, with that in mind...
There's another terminal.
Yep, I take that back. I apologize. With that in mind, the terminals also become crucial hotspots too, right? It's not just picking up the droids, but then also those terminals. If you can't get them back to the terminals, you've spent time and energy getting the droids for nothing.
Exactly. This game is such a fine balance of eliminating your enemy's models out there, as well as taking care of the objectives.
Right. I mean, the objective, especially with this map, the objective is such a huge point swing that you want to do it.
Yes, 9 points you get if you deliver a broken droid to a terminal.
2 of those, you're almost halfway to winning. You just need to eliminate a couple figures and you're good. So it seems unlikely that anyone will lose their entire squad here on the map. But you never know. Sometimes, someone gets ahead and you just have to rush all in and go for it. Counting out more spaces.
Right now, it just looks to see who's going to be the first to peek their head around that corner.
Yeah, there's a big thing with position. Going back to the chess analogy, as you said, trying to figure out your moves and stuff, the first person to go around the corner, sometimes it works out for them and sometimes it doesn't. It really depends on the follow-ups, but that first person that goes around the corner is probably going to get hit fairly hard.
Yes. So you almost have to think of what model you're willing to sacrifice for this, for the most part.
For sure. Jesse's counting out stuff now. You know, in the early game like this, because of trying to pop around the corner, you're trying to figure out what the best move for you is, but you're also trying to figure out how your opponent's going to react. You know, are they just going to try and take shots at the one or two figures you've sent around and try and stay hidden, or are they going to come out and, you know, maybe give you an opportunity to trap more of their figures? With
Oh, there goes the Bantha. That is exactly what I would have done in that case.
Yeah, it seems like a great play for Jesse. I mean, the Bantha can take a lot of hits before it goes anywhere.
Yeah, it's got 21 health.
Which is huge.
Huge.
Biggest in the game. That said, it's very hard to defend against attacks with it. So once it does start getting hit by some of the more elite figures like the Rebel Sabs or Obi-Wan, you know, it can lose its health pretty quick. But the fact that he's picked up that token so early, that seems good for him, right?
Correct, yes. That'll definitely help.
I mean, if he can get those other figures in front of the Bantha and then just retreat with the Bantha, that seems like a guaranteed 9 points. Oh, the Bantha's just... Oh, no, he's just moving out of the way so he can move the... Look, I think those are the assassin droids?
Yeah, those are the HK assassins.
I think he has to go this way because, yeah, these guys are there.
And there's some little table talk discussing what they can do.
And just making sure it doesn't move further than it actually can.
Yep.
So went over there and pushed the assassin droids forward. That's a great play. Pushing those droids from the Bantha, stopping its movement. If you don't know, the large models, when they stop their movement, they push any small models out to the sides. And pushing those droids in front of the Bantha is just natural protection. That's awesome.
Yep.
So now it's up to Kenny. Does he go for one? He's clearly counting the spaces.
He's planning something. It'll be interesting to see what he does. What would you do if you were Kenny?
I don't know. With those Sabs focused up, I think I'd actually throw somebody else in there, but Gideon's the closest, which isn't great.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'd really like Luke to go up there, but he's so far back. He'd help take out that door in the back.
Yep.
It looks like he's going.
Luke.
He's going for the other terminal.
All right. So at the end of this round, then Kenny currently would get 2 additional command cards.
So it looks like Kenny's sacrificing some points on the objectives, trying to go for the long game, trying to get some objective cards early, or command cards early, and try and gain advantage that way.
It's an interesting strategy. I think we'll see if it works out for him.
I know sometimes when I've played going for the command cards, it's still up in the air what cards you're going to draw. So it can or cannot work out. But I do know that often does help.
Yes.
Toward the later game.
Yeah, but it adds just enough variability to the game.
It looks like Kenny's whole team has been used up, and Jesse's going with his last figures, which I believe are one of the assassin droids. Yep.
Yep, and there they go.
Going after that door, huh? Just opened that one. So it's only the ones to the command room, which where R2-D2 is. Those are the ones with the health points I misspoke earlier. Up, and we're shooting Luke. Checking range.
Yep. Luke has health 10.
No, you're right.
So he probably can take a hit and be fine. But, I mean, this is a free shot for Jesse, basically. He gets to pop in, take a shot. Luke rolls nothing on the defense.
He does not defend.
Whew.
Whew, that's a good roll.
That is not too shabby at all. He's re-rolling to get a little extra. Oh, he lost a surge off of that, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
You got it. So 1, 2, and I've got 1 auto block.
He's keeping those 3, it looks like.
4 + 1 = 5 -1 is 4. Yep.
1 defense, so I'm guessing 3 damage depending on what he used that surge for. Probably Pierce, but he could have done weaken. I mean, Pierce or one damage is going to net the same amount of damage on Luke. Would you go for the condition, or would you go for the extra damage here?
I always go for extra damage.
Nice. Me too. Conditions are fun, but depending on what unit you're targeting and whatnot, the conditions can or cannot sometimes they're useful, sometimes they're not going to be too much of a detriment.
Yep.
Looks like Kenny's going right out with his sabs on the second round here. And he's shooting.
Shooting.
Yeah.
He's going to shoot an HK assassin droid.
All right. So Jesse had a first shot, and Kenny's coming right back. Oh, that yellow die almost had something good. All right, so we got 4 damage and a surge. Sabs can blast, which is that seems like the obvious choice, right? With that one surge, you're going to be hitting 4 figures with it.
Don't believe he's got range.
Oh no, you're right. So he's got a no. The Sabs have natural 3.
Oh, +3. Yep. So he does.
It's close though. He's plotting out his second one. That natural 3 is so huge. Like, a lot of figures have 1 or 2, but 3.
The +3 is huge. It lets you hit from afar, and then you could run back around a corner if you wanted to.
Yeah, depending on where you start and where you have to attack from, you can just pop out, take a good shot, and run away. Looks like the other Sab's going to help out Luke.
Yep, he's splitting up his team, because if both of those Sabs are eliminated, they're awarded then 7 points.
Smart choice. Pretty common choice at the top tables with lots of... Oh, that surge is canceled out.
3 damage?
3 damage just straight up. HK Assassin Droids only have 5 health. These are the normal ones, not the elite. So another shot and that droid's gone. It seems like Kenny's strategy is to try and take them out pretty quick. They hit pretty hard, so they have 3 attack dice. Granted, 2 of them are blue and the third is yellow. But with all the different things it can do, it can weaken, pierce, and do damage. It can really mess up your team.
Correct.
And if sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just take enough shots at people and you're just going to whittle away health. It's a good strategy.
Yeah, and you take out all 4 of those assassin droids. That's 16 points. That's a lot.
Correct, that's a lot. And then you deliver a broken droid and you're almost there to victory.
Yeah. Looks like players are rethinking things now that there's been a little bit of action.
Yep. This is the part of the game where it's long-term strategy. They're planning, they're plotting their moves.
Yeah, this is where it's most fun for players other than rolling the dice, I think. At least for me, anyway.
Me too.
Even though it doesn't look like there's much action happening, there's a lot going on in their heads.
Yep. It is exactly like the chess analogy. You are plotting, planning, trying to just outmaneuver your opponent.
So it looks like the Sab in the center got refocused after he had attacked. I'm not sure if that was an effect from somebody. But yeah, that's pretty nice because it's right in the action. So the next time it gets to activate, it's going to blow up some more stuff.
Yep. It's nice to carry over focuses from one round to the other.
So it looks like Jesse's got the first move in this coming up step. I mean, Kenny just attacked. I believe that was the first.
Yep. I wonder if Jesse's going to go after Luke with his HK droids, I believe those figures are.
Yeah, at least 2 of them. I think that might be C-3PO stuck in between them.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That was a block, but he's re-rolling. Yeah, that was thanks to the assassin droid. So Kenny rolled a block, and the assassin droid made him, with his first ability, versatile weaponry, made him re-roll that defense die and got nothing.
Nothing. Yep.
Wow, that's a lot of damage.
Ooh.
There goes Luke. That was quick.
Luke is gone, and he is worth 10 points.
That's pretty big. Between that and the Bantha picking up a targeting computer, it seems like Jesse's got the early advantage here. Losing Luke early like that's not only is it a lot of points, but Luke can do some really good damage when attacking.
Yes.
And he really helps with his inspiring ability. Getting him in early can help with that inspiring ability, but now now that he's off the board, that
Yep.
that was a risk that unfortunately did not pay off for him.
Yep. For those of you that don't know, the inspiring ability of Luke is anyone within a friendly figure within 3 spaces can re-roll 1 die. I mean, it's a
When attacking, right?
when attacking, correct?
It's pretty good. You get a when you don't have range, you can re-roll for range. If you just get a weak die, you can re-roll it and try and get something better. It's pretty nice.
Yep. And Luke had 3 attack dice, so that is now off the table.
He didn't even get a chance to recover anything.
You
See, he has the recover ability with surging, so he can always recover 2 health with the surge.
Yep. Let's see what Luke's twin sister can do then.
It's up to the other Skywalker now. Looks like the assassin droids are inching toward the console, but also going after that sab that's sticking out there.
I'll roll my white first. Just in case I have to roll it.
And we got surge cancel and 1 defense.
That's pretty good roll there.
Yep.
About what you can. Yeah. Not a very good attack roll. Jesse going to re-roll. He does have the option with the assassin droids can use their
Yep.
second ability to re-roll 1 attack
I
die.
believe that he's going to re-roll. And just a surge.
Oh, that's actually worse for him
Yup.
because that surge is going to get canceled and the damage is going to get canceled out. So just 1 damage.
1 damage.
Wow. Oh, he's forcing the defender to re-roll, and he got the same thing.
Yep.
Wow, that's great for Kenny. That pretty much did nothing, just 1 damage to the saboteur.
Lucky, lucky, lucky.
Saboteurs have 6 health, so 1 damage is not a big deal. It does kind of put him within one shot range in terms of being able to die to 1 hit, but that next hit is going to have to be a really big hit to take it out.
Exactly. It looks like they're counting out where they want to move to next.
Moving with the sabs, you think?
I think so.
They're already up there. Rather than let them keep getting picked apart, might as well have them do some damage, right?
Definitely.
And with those groupings.
I always say if you know a figure is going to go off the table early, get them focused, get them damaged, and get them out of there.
Yeah. Especially something with sabs that hit really hard. And that grouping, as long as that grouping of the Bantha Rider, Bosk, and the Assassin Droids are sitting there, that's just a juicy target for them.
Definitely.
Is he trying to go around it? That would be an interesting strategy. If he went around it, it'd be very hard for Jesse to chase them with the figures that are on the right side of the Bantha Rider. And the Assassin Droids on the left side have already activated, so it would basically leave them with just Gideon and C-3PO. But nope. I think he's just not a great roll.
No.
But he does have a surge, so he's targeting the middle one, obviously. Destroys the middle one. Probably adds some damage to the others.
Yep.
About as much as Kenny could hope for.
Definitely. I mean, he's just removing figures from the board, which is a good goal.
And piling damage up on that Bantha. Like, the more you can pile up when the Bantha is not actually doing anything to you, the better it is in the long run. Definitely. There's a command card that the Bantha Rider works with really well that just lets him trample over a whole bunch of figures. And if Jesse gets that off, I don't know if Jesse's running it off the top of my head, but if he got it off, that's just a really nasty thing to destroy your. Yeah, he is running it. He's got 2 of them in his command deck. So
very likely that it'll show up at some point in this game, which will be exciting to watch.
Yeah. I always tremble in fear when my opponent plays that.
Yep.
It's like, oh no. Not a very good attack roll. We're seeing some pretty weak attack rolls here. I'm guessing this is the other Sab.
Looks like it.
And he's running over to the terminal. I mean, with him going to the terminal like that, it's going to be hard for Jesse to take that. He can contest it with C-3PO or Gideon, but then he's throwing one of his more support figures into the fray just to contest a terminal.
Exactly, and I don't think that's a smart move for definitely for the utilizing your support figures.
No, that doesn't seem like a good use. You're right.
Nope.
That,
But we'll see. I mean, each player has their own strategy, so
right, and that Bantha is coming back in that direction. We you know, it has a broken droid, so you know it's coming back somewhere. It'll take a little while to get going, though. It's not, you know, it's got a speed of 5, but it's a big figure, so it's limited in terms of where it can end its movement thanks to obstacles. And this board is a lot of tight spaces.
definitely. It's one of the tricky parts about bringing a massive figure to the board.
Yeah. Some maps it's just fine, and other maps like this makes it a little bit harder to use. But the advantage, especially with the Bantha, of just having that 21 health.
Yeah. Likely you're not going to see the Bantha go down.
Not anytime soon, anyway. I remember when it first came out earlier this year, and it was right before, I think it was right before Store Championships or during Store Championships, and I was running the Store Championship here at the Fantasy Flight Games Center, and there were a lot of lists with Banthas. People were just having a blast with them, and the people going up against them were scared, you know, terror, like, oh, you've got 2 Banthas, that's 42 hit points I've got to destroy. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It was fun when that first came out. I mean, I ran just 2 Banthas by itself and was like, haha, I'm invincible.
It does feel like you're invincible. You're taking like 3-4 hits, and you're still not even, you know, the figure's still on the board. Looks like they're still thinking over things. Haven't seen any command cards play. Oh, there's one on the right, fleet-footed. All right, fleet-footed's been played as,
Use during your activation to gain 1 movement point.
All right, so see what happens with that. We didn't get a look at what he's activating. Still mulling over his options.
So far, we've only seen Jesse actually go for the objectives. Do you think that it's a good strategy or a bad strategy for Kenny to follow?
With the current board position, I think Kenny wants to just eliminate figures off the board. He's got control of command of both of the comm units. He's in a good position in the center of the board where the assassin droids have already activated, and he's got a number of figures already there. It seems like he wants to push that aspect, try and hit Jesse where he's weak at the moment, so that if Jesse does keep pushing for those other broken droids, he's only going to have half his force left, and Kenny will probably have most of his. At least that's what I would be doing. I would be thinking about. He runs away a little bit, thanks to Gideon. They're making sure that Gideon can actually see him. He cannot because of the obstacles, those red lines there on the map that his finger's touching.
Yep.
So now I'm guessing he's looking to move Gideon so he can try and retreat with one of those assassin droids.
Yep.
He's probably very well aware of Kenny thinking the same thing that I just spoke about in terms of pushing there. Sure enough, he does run away a little bit.
Yep. And there he goes.
And Gideon flees as well.
Tucking Gideon into the corner.
Gideon's such an important piece of a lot of lists. I mean, that's why you see him in a lot of lists, right? He's so cheap. But have you used him before? He's fantastic.
I have not used him recently, but he is. I just see him in so many lists, and he is great.
I mean, he lets one of you guys focus. He also lets one of you guys move a little bit like that, where it's critical that they need to run away or they need to get in position. He's good on offense and defense in that regard. Like, you want to set up a saboteur or somebody else to get a shot at him. I love him. He's so utilitarian. You can use him in a lot of different ways. But you have to be very careful. With only 5 health and 1 black die as defense, he falls off the board very easily.
Definitely. And he's only worth 3 points, but because of his utilitarian-like use, it's definitely worth it to try to get him off the board. Yeah,
I won't sacrifice strategic positioning to get him, but if I get a shot at him, I'm going to take it 100% of the time.
Exactly. Get him and C-3PO off the board.
Yep. Yeah, C-3PO as well. C-3PO also focuses a character. He also, when he's next to things, he makes it a lot easier for those figures to defend, letting you reroll a die and also giving extra results to your defense dice. However, C-3PO can't attack.
Right. So you're sacrificing attack dice for being able to maneuver your characters better.
Yeah, he's a little bit different than Gideon, whereas Gideon can get into a scrap. He doesn't have a great attack, just a blue and a green die. But he can do a few damage here and there if you just need to finish off a character. C-3PO, he's a sitting duck.
Yep, and you just want to protect him as much as possible.
Yep.
Which is why we see him following around the HK assassin droids.
Yep. Yeah, and him sitting next to the HK assassin droids is very smart of Jesse. Because it allows C-3PO to support the assassin droids when they defend, and the assassin droids support C-3PO when he defends with those rerolls.
It's a very good strategy.
But it's been interesting to see because he moved that one assassin droid away from C-3PO earlier. They were both right next to him, and I noticed him move one away, and I'm pretty sure it was because that saboteur came in so early. I think he was scared of the blast damage.
Yes.
It looks like Jesse's going for another objective, or is he going for the saboteur? Bosk is going for the saboteur. So good defense roll by Kenny, and about an average attack roll, but he has to. Jesse's making him re-roll, or no? Oh, it's Bosk, so he can't force him to re-roll.
Yep.
He's been using the assassin droids too much. I'm stuck in a rut there. So he gets a little damage in on the saboteurs. Not a ton, though. I think it was 2 damage, so still 4 health on that saboteur. Looks like he's coming in with Gideon.
That's what I would guess.
It's interesting.
Huh.
He's focusing Obi-Wan, okay. And then he's going to... Okay, yeah.
All right.
That seems more like... I don't know about you, but I'd be a little... perplexed if he had gone off to support that one rebel saboteur.
Exactly, especially with Bosk sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, I know he activated, but still, it's too scary.
Yep.
It looked like he actually activated C-3PO. As he just moved C-3PO a spot back, so he focused Obi-Wan, setting up Obi-Wan's turn very shortly, and then stepped back a little bit, so C-3PO wasn't so in the line of fire, maybe to potentially support the rebel stab in the future.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Jesse, what do you think you do here?
Oh, I think at this point it's a matter of just taking out as many models as possible. Plus, he's got to get that Bantha to a terminal.
Do you run to that middle terminal where this rebel saboteur is, or do you try and go where R2-D2 is?
That's a tricky thing. I personally would probably just run to the terminal where R2-D2 is. There's nothing going on over there. Yes, the door has 10 health.
Mm-hmm.
But if he does have the Jedlin Terror card in his hand, which is the trample card,
right?
Then at that point it's like, yeah, run to the middle terminal and.
Yeah, that could be huge. He could get to the terminal and do a lot of damage to Kenny's squad. It looks like Jesse just picked up another token with a broken droid with one of his assassin droids. He's definitely trying to get that advantage.
Yeah, Jesse has scored 10 points already, so if he gets both of those to a terminal, he's almost there.
He only needs 12 more. And if he did have Jundland Terror, he'd probably get pick up a couple more along the way to that terminal. So
definitely.
Seems like Kenny has positioned himself well, but it seems like Jesse has the upper hand right now between destroying Luke so early and having 2 tokens, 2 broken droids already.
Yes.
I think that Luke was really a big play. I don't think Kenny expected it to be destroyed so quickly.
Yep, and that's always hard when you build a list around a key figure like Luke Skywalker, and it is eliminated almost immediately.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of his 3 heroes, basically, Obi-Wan, Luke, and Leia. And Leia's more of a... I mean, I would say Luke is more of an attacker than Leia. While Leia is great, she does seem to lend herself more to support.
Definitely.
What looks like he's focusing someone?
Or spending his focus.
Oh, yep. Good call.
Yeah.
Going after Bosk. That's not a very good defense roll. Attack is so-so.
So.
But he's got surge and a decent amount of damage.
Yep.
2 surge. Got range. So that was... Who was that? Was that Leia, I think?
I think that's Leia.
So, well, we were... I was just saying how she was a support character, and here she is getting in the action. So she can recover, which she doesn't need to do. She can add 2 damage with one of those surges, which is big. Rerolling the defense die. All right. Now we have 3 damage and a surge left, basically, after that defense die.
And they're just plotting out how they're going to spend those surges.
Yeah, there goes Bosk already. Wow.
Wow.
So that's just like the Luke one. Bosk is gone. That was... Whew.
Brutal.
Yeah, I guess there was enough blast damage accrued from the Rebel Sab earlier. It made it easy for Leia to take him out. With Leia being focused, she hit pretty hard.
She did. I am very surprised by that, which is awesome because you don't see Leia often being in an attacking position.
Yeah, I mean she can attack. She's kind of like Gideon, where she can attack. I mean she's obviously more powerful than Gideon, being worth 8 points and having 8 health and more attack dice. But I agree in that she usually just comes to the battle when she needs to. But I mean that's great. Now Kenny has an open path to that HK assassin droid that has a token on him.
Yep. And Bosk was worth 8 points, so Kenny is only about 2 points behind Jesse if Jesse does not deliver those broken droids by the end of the round or the end of the match.
Correct. Oh, looks like Jesse's had enough. He's coming with the Bantha. 2 damage and takes it.
Yep.
Just takes out that Rebel Sab. That's Bantha's, what is that? The Stampede ability, I believe? Yeah, when you end your movement in spaces that contain other figures, each hostile figure in your space suffers 1 damage.
Yep.
Or no.
Maybe
Sorry.
Maybe he did trample.
Trample. Must have been trample. I apologize. So choose up to 3 adjacent hostile figures, roll a red die. Each of those figures suffers damage equal to the damage results. So with 1 Rebel Sab gone, that other one is a little bit more dangerous in terms for Kenny in terms of losing it.
Yep.
So that's another 7 points that Jesse could acquire.
Definitely, and then he's got all those HK assassin droids over there. It's not looking good for the Rebel Sab.
No, although it looks like he's bringing Obi-Wan over here.
Ooh.
Wow, all of a sudden just got really hotly contested in the droid graveyard. I think that was Obi-Wan's full activation, so he doesn't get to do anything. He just moved over.
Yep, setting himself up for the next round.
And between him and Leia, they should have a decent shot at taking out the Bantha. Mm-hmm. Kenny does get initiative for this round. I just saw them pass it to Kenny, so yeah, the token is right there by, I think that's Diala is the Jedi's name on the map there.
And he just played a command card that lets him look at his opponents.
He's making his opponent discard a card.
Yes.
That's good. And he knows what the other card in Jesse's hand is, so he's not going to be surprised by whatever it is. So if it were Jundland Terror, although I think he would make him discard that.
Definitely.
He would know it's coming. He could appropriately space out his figures. And it looks like he's just reactivating Obi-Wan. It's always a powerful swing, finishing up a turn and then taking initiative and being able to attack right away again. And it looks like Kenny's making the most of it.
Yep.
It's a big attack.
Big attack.
Whoa.
Ooh, lots of damage.
Yeah. And 1 surge.
So the Bantha Rider is probably hurting a little bit at this point.
Yeah, judging by what we've seen, I wouldn't be surprised if it's already at half health with a couple blast attacks and then that big attack. That big attack probably did about 5 or 7 damage, I would guess. I mean, the Bantha Rider doesn't have any defense die, so whatever you roll, he's taking.
Yep.
And unfortunately, those HK assassin droids don't help him because the assassin droids let a friendly figure re-roll a defense die, but doesn't help there.
Doesn't help. No die to roll. If the Bantha Rider does go down, it's worth 9 points.
With Bosk off the table, that's a big swing.
Definitely.
Bosk is off the table. One of the assassin droids is off the table. The other one is in the fray currently with a token on him. You have to think Jesse's going to run away with that one.
That would be my strategy.
So what do you think? How do you think it's going to play out? It seems like Jesse, the obvious choice for Jesse is to run away with that HK assassin droid that's carrying a broken droid, right?
Yes.
So then what happens? Do they try and contest the middle again, or does Leia come over and keep pressure on the Bantha?
I mean, if I was playing, I'd probably bring Leia over, keep pressure on the Bantha, and get that model off the table, because then you're pretty much like the scum list is its 2 key players are pretty much off.
Right. Just the assassin droids at that point.
Definitely. Which are dangerous in their own right, too.
They are, but they do have the least amount of health out of anything else, ignoring Gideon and C-3PO, of course.
Yes.
But out of the ones that can really do damage on attacks, they're the weakest. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. If Jesse can get that Sab off the board, then the HK assassin droids can get together a little bit more, which, right now it's hard for them to jumble up with the threat of that blast. But once they jumble up, then they're going to support each other, and it's going to make it really hard for Kenny to attack anything. Here comes the Bantha Rider. Yeah, he's looking to just trample over stuff. Just go, go, go.
Yep.
He's got 3 figures from that. He's got C-3PO, Leia, and Gideon.
Yep.
2 damage.
2 damage
so
to each of them.
Nothing dies. That's pretty good.
Yep. C-3PO might be down to half health.
Yep. And Gideon's down to 3, which means a single shot can probably take him out. Shouldn't be hard. Leia's still pretty healthy, which is good. Good for Kenny. He doesn't want her in the fray. So as long as she can take another shot, she should be okay for a little while. This is pretty interesting. I wonder if Jesse goes with the Bantha Rider all the way to the command tower, command room rather.
Yeah.
Just tramples his way over.
That'd be really fun to see, actually.
Obi-Wan's just given up,
Obi-Wan.
and he's going after that assassin droid. That seems like the smart play here.
Yeah, definitely.
It's pretty good attack.
Yep.
Ooh, decent. So 2 damage gets through. It doesn't look like it takes the assassin droid off the table. And he's going to move around a little bit and play a command card. What was that? I missed it. He went through the card so quick. Well, whatever it was, it took him off the board. I'm not sure which command card that was off the top of my head. Didn't get a good look at it. But he takes that assassin droid off the table, and the droid drops, the broken droid. So Kenny's looking pretty good right now, right?
Definitely.
It's really, as you said, the Bantha Rider, once that's off the table, Jesse's lost his main players, really.
Definitely. Yep. So I'll be interested to see how Jesse recovers from this.
Yeah, with Obi-Wan, I think Obi-Wan... Oh, okay. We were just told it was Force Choke that he used. That's kind of funny, Obi-Wan using Force Choke. take out a droid. There's a lot of odd levels of flavor there, but sometimes you get to write your own story with these games, so do what you want with it. Obi-Wan dips a little bit into the dark side. It's not the official story, but
in these games, you get to rewrite your own stories.
Yep. So I think Obi-Wan's doing just fine over there. Even if the assassin droids come after him, he's got 12 health. He's got a good attack. He can probably take both of them probably evenly.
Yes.
If not, have an advantage, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I think you're right. It's that Bantha Rider seems to be becoming the focus of the remainder of the match here. You can see in the back over there in the left, the rest of the top 8 is playing. Obviously can't get a good look at anything, but they're nearby playing the rest of their matches. We'll have some of them on the stream next round for sure.
It'll be exciting to see which lists make it to the table too.
Yeah, there's been good variety. We'll cover that in a little bit. Jesse's moving forward. The assassin droids just trying to press that advantage. Seems reasonable with the Bantha Rider headed that way anyway. Probably going to take a shot at the Saboteur. That's good defense
Good
roll.
defense roll.
And not a great
Not a
attack.
great attack.
So he's got 1 damage and 1 surge, right?
Correct.
So he probably boost damage. Gets 2 in. Weakens that Rebel Sab a little bit more. I think it took an attack earlier, so it's probably down to only 2 health or so. Not exactly what Jesse wanted, I'm guessing. I'm guessing Jesse probably wanted to finish that off with that 1 shot.
Yep, I agree.
Gideon, looks like Gideon is focusing probably, or is he moving him? Just double checking line of sight.
Line of sight.
Trying to plot out what Gideon's going to do. Jesse's Gideon. So he's focusing.
He's going to focus. And he's going to shoot at something.
Was that Gideon taking the shot? I'm guessing if he's focusing the Sab. Yep. It must have been Gideon. Just a long range shot, just for the heck of it, maybe.
Might as well take pot shots when you can.
Yeah, there's no point in Gideon getting any closer. He doesn't want to lose that Gideon. Especially with the advantage, Gideon can just help amplify, move his guys around into the right position. And that's... Looks like Jesse's double checking to see where the Sab's going.
Yep, it's a focus Sab, so he might be trying to do some more damage to the Bantha rider.
Perfectly reasonable. C-3PO is just moving over. Maybe he's trying to push him into the corner and keep him there. It's like, hey, you, stay here. Interesting little mini battle here going on with the Sab already damaged, but Kenny focusing him, he becomes a little bit of a focus, right? If he hadn't been focused, Jesse probably would only try and finish him off when needed.
Yes.
But without his figures bunched up, he's not too scared of that Saboteur right now.
Definitely.
Kenny's looking through his giant hand. Having both of those command stations for multiple turns, that's been big for him. As we saw earlier when he looked at Jesse's hand, Jesse only had 2 cards because he hasn't collected any command cards other than the draw 1 at the end of a round.
Yep. Which makes me think that Kenny's strategy is to pretty much get through his command deck and play as many of those command cards, which are probably pretty powerful to eliminate Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get through a good chunk of that deck, you're guaranteeing you're seeing all the cards that you want to see, right? And then you can hold on to them for the right moment. As we spoke about earlier, it seems to be paying off for him.
Definitely.
Counting out more spaces. This is where the chess aspect plays into you're trying to get the right positioning, and unlike chess where a bishop can only go diagonally or a rook can only go straight and whatnot, these characters can go in any direction, and they don't have to move their full movement points either.
Yeah, they can move 3 spaces, stop, take a shot, and then move another 1 or 2 spaces depending on their movement speed. Or they can stop after 3 as well.
Yeah, if they decide they're tired, they can just take a rest. So I'm guessing here, Jesse's trying to control the center of the board, it looks like, with his assassin droids already there and the Bantha rider headed in that direction. It seems like, and Obi-Wan away from the action right now, seems like he's trying to get Kenny to spend a lot more time moving Obi-Wan and Leia back into that center space and hoping he can control it long enough.
Yeah, I agree. He might try to eliminate that Rebel Sab tucked away in the corner so that he can then maybe deliver some broken droids.
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm. Delivers that droid. He's up to 21 points, which is over halfway. He takes out that Sab. That's another 7 points. He's up to 28. And at that point, he really only needs to eliminate 2 figures. One of them could be Gideon.
Yep.
Or R2D2 if he wants to go all the way over to the command room. That's a nice
That's
attack
a nice
roll.
attack.
Wow.
Ooh,
there
there
goes the
goes
Bantha. Ooh, I think that seems very bad for Jesse.
Ooh.
Jesse's. I think Kenny's got it at this point. I know the game's not over yet, but it just without the Bantha, he loses the token. Right now they're trying to figure out where to put the droid because the Bantha is a large figure. I think they're trying to confirm where it can drop.
Yep.
But yeah, without that Bantha, and he's ahead on points.
Yep. It's a damaging loss at this point. What do you think his strategy could be at this point?
Without any broken droids, I don't know what he can do. Obi-Wan's sitting there overlooking the broken droid, so it's not like he can just go try and make a run for it or anything.
Yep.
That said, he will get initiative this next round, barring Kenny having take initiative. So he will be able to try and set something up at the end of this round.
Yeah, but even if he makes a run for the broken droids, he's very far away.
Yeah, with Leia and Obi-Wan kind of protecting each point there. Initiative is passed. We're going to see what he does, but it is not looking good for Jesse at all. It's interesting. We've seen both players gambit a little bit here. You know, Kenny threw out that Luke early and lost it, and then Jesse went after multiple broken droids, and it seems like he paid the price for that too.
Definitely.
Do you think if Jesse hadn't gone after two, if he'd gotten that one with the Bantha Rider and tried to maximize that while trying to protect his force and obviously take out Kenny's, do you think he might have had a better shot?
I think he probably would have been in a better position at this point.
That's fair.
His Bantha Rider would probably still be alive, and he'd have a little bit more options of what to do for the remaining minutes of the game.
Yeah. As we know, options are better than a situation like this.
Yep.
I think that's a very good analysis. So Jesse's probably mulling over his options, what little limited options he has left, trying to figure out what to do.
Yep.
I wonder if Kenny. No. Kenny moved his sab, but he doesn't have initiative. Interesting. I wonder if he played a command card. Let's see. I'm not sure if he has anything that would have let him. Yeah, I'm not sure if he has anything in his command deck that would have let him do something ahead of Jesse. He's just running away with the sab, which I don't know. I mean,
maybe his strategy now is to pick up broken droids.
Yeah, I mean that's a safe strategy. Although I think it looks like he eliminated one of the assassin droids on his way down. I actually glanced away from the screen, unfortunately, for a second, but there's a missing assassin droid, so that's my guess.
Yep.
Gideon's coming out and firing. That saboteur is weakened, so
roll the dodge.
That Gideon doesn't even get a shot. Now Jesse's just being denied. That's a bummer for him.
Yep.
Kenny's coming back. Looks like he's probably going to bring his Gideon out. It looked like he was counting from him. He's playing. Was that intelligence? What was that? It was there for a second.
I didn't get to see it.
I think it was intelligence leak. Let me double check here. Yeah, he's moving Gideon up. Or no, that wasn't Gideon. That was Leia.
That was Leia. Yep.
That is
one surge cancel.
That is not what you want to see on a black die.
Yep, 3 damage she took, or she
dealt out.
Dealt out. Yep.
That's a good chunk of Gideon's health.
Yep, Gideon's sitting there with 5 health, so 3 defense.
So intelligence leak is a spy card. It says use during your activation to look at your opponent's hand. You may choose and discard a command card from it, then suffer strain equal to the card's cost. So it actually didn't have anything to do. He was just doing that before he activated Leia, I think.
Yep.
Just trying to further remove Jesse's options from the board.
Now it looks like they're just planning their next steps.
Jesse's mulling over his increasingly limited options. Seeing if there's a way out of this.
Yep.
I don't think he has it, though.
You can just see the tension on his face.
Got one command card left again. Poor Jesse. He's had 2 cards removed from his hand with from Kenny, and he hasn't. I don't think he's drawn a single one from the comm stations, has he?
No, I don't believe so. I think this round, if he stays where he's at, he does get to draw a card. But at this point, I don't know if it'll help him much.
That seems like a bad play sitting back at
Yeah.
this point. He needs to try and take out Leia, or the Sab, or both. That's a start.
Yep.
Ooh, all right.
That's something.
Yep, there goes Leia. So that's a good start.
Yep. Leia's worth 8 points.
So it's now 25-20. What's he? He's still counting, so I'm not sure what if he's trying to retreat or if he's got a command card to play. But if he can take out that other Sab, he's not looking too bad.
Exactly. Do you think the strategy at this point is just to eliminate the other player?
I do.
Yep.
It seems like it takes too much time and too much risk trying to pick up a broken droid and get it to a station.
Yep. Especially with Obi-Wan just sitting
lurking
back
over there.
Yep.
I do think Kenny could potentially race if he felt like Jesse would be willing to do it. He could pick up some one of the broken droid right next to Obi-Wan, and then Jesse would have to move one of those 3 figures to go pick up the one closest to him on the left of the screen, and that would just create an opening for Obi-Wan with his 12 health. Yep, it looks like that's what he's thinking about doing.
Exactly.
I mean, with his 12 health, he can take a shot or 2 from Gideon and the assassin droid.
He picks it up.
Here he comes. All right, yep. So next turn is basically giving Jesse a counter, a clock. One more round, and Obi-Wan's going to deliver that broken droid to the terminal. C-3PO goes. It looks like he's probably focusing the droid. Pointed to the droid anyway.
Yep. That's probably what I would do.
Yep. I mean, right now, the assassin droid's your big finisher, right? And
yeah.
He's lumping his figures together, which seems kind of risky with the Saboteur.
Especially a focused Saboteur.
Yes. It really depends on where the initiative ends up. If one of them has take initiative,
that could be a game changer at this point.
Yeah, I mean that's a powerful card. It's merited. A lot of people are playing negation and some other cards just to make sure that the people running take initiative can't use it when they want to. I've seen players hold on to it just waiting for take initiative. It's like that's the card I want to take care of. I'm willing to hold on to this card and not use it for anything else. Looks like the players are either thinking or talking, but the way the board stands, Obi-Wan's basically giving him a clock. If he destroys the Rebel Saboteur, if Jesse destroys his Rebel Saboteur, he'd go up to 27.
Uh-huh.
But between the Saboteur and Gideon, that's not enough. He'd only get to 30 at that point.
Yep.
And he's going for it, though.
Nice.
2 damage.
Yep.
Question is, which did he attack? If it's Gideon, I think Gideon had 3 health left on him. I don't know how much the Saboteur has currently. Gideon's running away.
Running away.
Yeah. There goes the
There
Sab.
goes the
He
Sab.
must have gotten
Nice.
that. All right, that's big. Without that Sab being there, it's going to be a lot harder for Kenny to destroy things. He's going to have to run in with... He's going to have to spend his full turn with Obi-Wan to deliver that droid. You think he would do that, or do you think he'd rather come in and attack something?
I would probably come in and attack something. I mean, yes, the droid's worth 9. Ugh, it's a hard choice either way.
Yeah, although I forgot Obi-Wan is only a melee attacker, so he actually wouldn't be able to move in and attack something without Jesse making a big mistake and moving one of his figures back toward Obi-Wan.
Yep.
So Gideon's attack does nothing, and he runs away with him.
Yep.
So at this point, I think it's really going to come down to Obi-Wan, huh?
Yep. Obi-Wan kind of versus the HK assassin droid.
It looks like he's actually considering not moving him to the terminal. That's interesting.
Maybe he believes that Obi-Wan can deal enough damage to take out, maybe the HK assassin droid.
Yeah, I mean, he does have to interact with the terminal to deliver that broken droid, so he wouldn't be able to do it until the next round to start off. And Obi-Wan being a melee character, if Jesse just moved all of his guys away and took pot shots at Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan would not be able to deliver the droid and attack next round.
That's correct.
Although it looks like Jesse moves C-3PO in to block Obi-Wan. That's interesting. That seems like a smart move.
Yeah, definitely.
So now he's basically forcing Obi-Wan to come in and not be able to deliver the droid on his first activation next round. If that droid gets delivered, Kenny is at 34 points. Jesse would still be at 27. And at that point, Kenny still has... It really is that assassin droid against Obi-Wan, as you said.
Definitely.
I just want to make sure.
Gideon and C-3PO together are only 5 points. That would only get Kenny to 39. Do you think Kenny's Gideon picks up a droid too? Just
It very well might be his strategy since he's, tucked him around behind that corner. I mean, at that point, it's, hey, I'm here. I might as well pick this up.
right. Where do you? I wonder. It doesn't seem like the greatest strategy, but potentially Kenny could sit. Oh no, he's moving with Obi-Wan.
Yes.
I was going to say sit with Obi-Wan and have Gideon come over to help him out. Okay.
Yep, and he delivered the droid.
Yep. So we've got 34 to 27, but now Obi-Wan's just sitting there, and he's going to take some shots. So if Jesse has the right command card, he has a shot still. 12 health is a lot to get through.
Definitely.
He's got 2 different figures that can take shots at him.
And I don't remember, has Obi-Wan taken any damage yet?
I don't believe so.
All right,
I think he's
so
got
it
full
is a
health.
full 12
Yeah.
health.
And Obi-Wan has a black defense die for those at home. So he's mostly just going to be negating damage. It's going to be hard for him to negate any surges that the Assassin Droid uses. With Assassin Droid having Pierce, it's only Pierce 1, but it's relevant. There's two blocks. We've got 7 damage. So 5 damage on him. It forcing him to reroll. Oh, that backfired on Jesse. Jesse gets some damage on Obi-Wan, but definitely not as much as he's counting on, right?
Exactly, yeah. Especially since he only has Gideon left to be able to do damage to Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
it's just not enough.
No. Gideon can only get a little bit in. The Assassin Droid is his main bruiser. They're shaking hands, and Jesse's conceding. Kenny takes the match, 34 to 27, and the upper hand with Obi-Wan left on the board. Jesse's kind of, shrugging his shoulders like, not much I could do there. I tried my best. And, I mean, he did. He gave himself a shot, taking out Leia and the Rebel Saboteur in one turn.
Definitely. I think the critical moment was when he lost his Bantha rider.
Yeah, I would agree. It seemed like losing Luke early on was rough for Kenny, but he managed to come back, and perhaps a few mistakes from Jesse in terms of how he deployed that Bantha rider might have let Kenny get back in on it.
Yeah, I would agree with that analysis. There were mistakes made.
Yeah, it looks like they're talking it over right now, just trying to figure out what happened.
It's one of the fun parts about this community is just the amount of, hey, I remember I did this and this was terrible and I should have done this instead.
Yeah, I mean, players routinely sit at for 5-10 minutes after a match is done, just discussing the match, going over it, reliving cool moments or talking about how they could have played better, or I don't know. I agree. It's a lot of fun just seeing it, and it's also a lot of fun being part of it.
Definitely.
I know as someone who often runs the tournaments and stuff, it's actually I'm not trying to be negative, but it is a little frustrating sometimes. Is if you're getting to the round, and you're like, guys, just tell me your result. I need to know so we can get the next next round.